Hey everyone, okay, so today I am so excited about this video, you have no idea. So about 1.5 years ago, I did a video on the buffing technique. And the buffing technique is a technique that allows you to look truly airbrushed in real life, but in photographs, that's where you take on this incredibly airbrushed, ethereal look to the skin. It's a wonderful technique. And it got me thinking about creating a brush that could bring the buffing technique to life in a really beautiful way, in a way that had never been done before. But that also got me thinking that, well, I didn't just want a brush that could only serve one purpose, because they just didn't sit well with me. So my thought process was I wanted a brush that I could do the buffing technique with beautifully on everybody, regardless of their skin type, whether it was oily or dry or young or mature, however it was. But I wanted the brush to be incredibly soft, unbelievably soft. In fact, it had to be softer than any other brush I created. And if you are familiar with my brushes, you will know they are incredibly soft. So that was the first one. The second one was it had to be perfect for the buffing technique, but it also had to be multifunctional. I had to be able to apply contour, because contouring needs to be applied at an angle. The same with highlighting, it needed to be able to highlight. It needed to be able to apply blusher. It needed to be able to apply bronzer and powders, so it couldn't just serve as one function. It took a while, but it's here now. So here it is. This is why I'm so excited, and this is where you all come in. This is my brand new brush, and it is, I won't lie, a triumph, an absolute triumph. You will never have felt a brush this soft before, ever. And I'm going to run you through a whole demo in a minute, and we'll talk about it in a little bit more depth. But this is where you come in. Yes, you. Because this brush is so special to me, but just special in general. The cut, the feel, everything about it. Every single one of my brushes, including this one, is handcrafted by Japanese artisans. It takes over 20 people to make one single brush. No machines, it's all hand work, and it takes an incredibly long time. Because this brush is so special, I kind of came up with a little bit of a problem, which is I don't really know what to call it. And that's where you come in. I want you to name the brush. It's that simple. You name the brush, and if I pick your name and the name of the brush, obviously, then you will win the brush and a set of my original collection. So to submit your suggestion for the name of this brush, pop down there into the description bar, and there is the link, and you can say your name, pick your name, what name you think the brush should be, make it good, make it delicious, and then you stand a chance to win. It's that simple. So if you sign up and enter this contest, which I'm hoping you will, then this brush will be launched on the 28th of June. Ooh. That's it. We will contact you if you win, and it will be announced on the 26th of June. Now, let me show you how to use this brush. Okay, so let's first start with contouring. The way to use the brush is to take the product onto the tips, and because it's got a really loose bristle, it is quite difficult to overpack it with color, which is exactly what it was intended for. Suck in your cheeks, find the hollow or the natural shadow, and just follow that curve. So we're going to start with the contouring, the highlighting, the blusher, some bronzing, then we're going to do the buffing technique. So follow the natural shadow, deepest at the hairline, and then working your way in. And just use the tips of the brush to do all the work. Now, because we're going to be following the buffing technique, we don't need to really blend this, but this brush blends beautifully. Just take it, we've taken it on the side, just take it flat and move it in a back and forward motion to blend that line. We're going to move on to the highlighting now. So again, taking the brush just onto the tip, and we're now going to highlight the upper part of the cheekbone area. Taking it high up onto the cheekbone. And because of the buffing technique, it means that we can go slightly heavier and it won't look like that once we've completed the application. I'm going to take a little bit of highlighter and apply it just above the arches of the eyebrow, and take a little bit and just run it down the center of the nose, and a very, very small amount just on the tip of the nose. You can also go down on the cupid's bow and bottom lip. Next, I'm going to take the same brush, dipping it into a bronzer, into a blusher, I'm sorry. Now we're going to take this and place it and move it in a circular motion with color and bring it up. Again, don't worry that it's a bit harsh, that I'm using a lot of color, because all of this is going to be transformed into airbrush skin any minute. Now before we move on and show you the buffing technique, one thing to mention, if you just want to bronze your face and have it look, more healthy and a bit more bronzed, take the brush and make sure that you're getting the bulk of it onto the hairs, not just the tips. Give it a little knock off. The area on the face where you will look the most tan will be right here. If you have a very low forehead, just take the tip and just very lightly buff into the hairline. Otherwise, you can be a little bit more exaggerated with it, and this will really make you look more tan than just going all over your face like you've been assaulted by the sun. Okay, so now we've got some bronzer, we've got some contour and highlight and blusher. Now we're going to do the buffing technique. What you need is a pressed powder that has color in it. It needs to be a colored powder. Take your brush, swirl it into the product, making sure that every aspect of it is covered. Now, because this is a really soft brush, unbelievably soft, you don't need a lot. Knock it off, make sure there's not too much on there, but enough. Then what you want to do in circular motions is buff over everything that we've just done. And because this is so soft, it's not going to exfoliate, it's not going to micro exfoliate. And because of the size of it and the way it splays, you can pick areas of the face. You may just want to do the buffing technique in a certain area, or you may want to do the whole face. It makes it much easier. And buff over all of your makeup. And what this does, in real life, it gives the most beautiful effect to the skin, where there's no starting and stopping of anything on the face. But when you take a picture with a camera and a flash, or even without, the skin looks ethereal. It looks just so beautiful and polished. And that's the buffing technique. Now, one other thing to note about this brush that's absolutely useful is, in general, used for the application of loose or pressed powder. Just pick it up, some on the brush, however you want to do it. You can powder specific areas of the face if you just want to do the T-zone, or you can do a full face, pick up some loose powder, you can knock it across. It's not going to move anything because it's so soft. And one of the great things is you can cut the cheek with this so beautifully, and I'll show you now. All you need is some loose powder, preferably in a color that's lighter than your skin tone, because you want it to be, you want it to stand out. Suck in your cheek or find the contour and apply the product in a line, because we want there to be this distinctive line of light, and you can go quite heavy with this. There's nothing to be scared of. So apply it right the way down, then just take your brush, knock off everything that's on it, and buff that line away, and it will give you a really beautiful definition where there is this light and dark and everything is blended into one and you don't know. And that's it, so let's just recap. Now, my brushes and this brush are exclusive to Beautylish, and they ship worldwide. They ship everywhere, so don't worry about it, they will ship to you. Now, this brush will launch to those of you who enter this contest on the 28th, and the winner will be announced on the 26th. So make sure you enter, all the information is down there, and again, I can't wait to see the names that you come up with. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.